Recently, I posted a video about book ideas and where you can find them. Well, today I'm going to talk about how you can turn those book ideas into a novel using my new How to Turn Your Book Ideas into a Novel workbook. Stay tuned.
When you want to free, I'm free, I'm
Hi everybody, SL Michaels here. Thank you so much for joining me today on my channel. If you are new here, this is where I talk about all things self-publishing, and also I am a romance writer. I talk about romance writing in some videos. That's because it's my genre. That's what I talk about. That's what I write in. But mainly I talk about self-publishing. So I'm going to do something today that I've never talked about, thought I would never have to talk about. But before I do that, I do have a few things to take care of. First off, I want to welcome my 3 new subscribers to the channel, and they are Gerard Smith, Olivia Clement, and Desmond Lewis. Thank you guys so much for joining. I greatly appreciate it. I hope you guys are enjoying the content on this channel, and just thank you for joining this great big family. If you are interested in having a shout out on my video, please subscribe to the channel. And make sure that your channel ID is turned on so I will get a notification and I can see who you are. Sometimes I get subscribers and I don't get a notification and I don't get names, I don't get anything. So just let me know who you are when you subscribe. That will come up. And also don't forget to ring the bell, because that way, if you ring the bell, you will be able to see the next video and hear your shout out. And if you leave a comment, then we will, at the end of the video, you will get a shout out as well. All right, so as I've talked about, I have written a workbook to talk about how you can turn your book ideas into a novel. Now, this workbook is free. And all you have to do is sign up for my newsletter. Down below there is a link, and this will be sent to you for free. It's a 12-page workbook, and I thought we could discuss what's in this workbook, and I hope that it is a help to you. So the first thing I want to talk about in the book, and it's the first thing when you have a book idea, is the premise. Yes, I have written it in already, and this is for this video so I can have all my notes and stuff. So the premise. You have to think, what is the premise of your story? The premise is also you take just the whole novel, your whole idea, and condense it into 1 or 2 sentences. And you might be thinking, how in the world do I do that? Well, it's simple. And that's why I have this worksheet here to help you guys. And we're gonna do it together. I'll do my best to help you guys see it. But like I said, sign up for my newsletter and you can get the free book and find out more. I talk more about my book coming out, more that kind of stuff in the newsletter. But here on the channel, I talk mainly just about self-publishing and romance writing. All right, so the premise. You should be easy to express the premise or the central idea of your book into a single sentence. So, and it all consists of 5 elements. And here are the 5 elements. It is your main character, if you can see it. It is your main character, the situation, the objective, your opponent, and the disaster. That is what the 5 main key elements of the premise should contain. And if you can fill these in, then you'll be able to write your condensed story, which is just the whole idea. It's like the elevator pitch of your story. So I thought for this we would use The Lion King as an example. So The Lion King. So we'll fill in this way. So who's our character? Well, our main character is Simba. So who was Simba? He was the heir to the Pride Lands. He was the prince. And he was a lion. And then you can get into a character trait. It could be like description, or it could be more of like a personality trait, but we will get into that in future videos, because that is covered in the workbook. But for right now, you just want the premise, because you're not going to write the whole book in just a few sentences. You're not going to do that. It's just very, very simple. And so he was heir to the Pride Lands, and his name was Simba. So next is the situation. What is going on? And so what had happened was he runs away because he believes he was responsible for his father's death. Now that is the situation, what was going on. It's also called the crisis or the New World. And what it happens is that is the intricate, exact incident when his whole world that he knew it was turned upside down. And like I said, when we get into outlining a novel, which is in the workbook, hint, hint, we'll talk more too about that. But like I said, this is just the basic. That's what happened. Scar made him believe that he killed his father, though he didn't. Scar did, but Simba didn't see that. So the next thing, the objective. The objective is, what does your character want in the story? Now it can change, because a lot of times a lot of characters in books, they start out wanting one thing, but then it can change into another, and then their desire changes. A lot of times in fiction, it starts off where it's a very selfish act. They want me, me, me. But then as they go on this journey, then they change, because then it turns about other people, and they have that defining moment, the come to Jesus moment, where they don't want to be selfish. And they start thinking about other people and how their wants and their decisions affect others. So for right now, though, the objective in this story for the Lion King, his main goal was he wanted to get out of there. He was never going to return home to face shame from his pride and his mom. It was he couldn't believe what had happened, and he was just crushed. And he didn't want to see his mom and the pride look at him the way now he saw himself. So what happens? He leaves. So who's his opponent? Every good story has got to have that good opponent, that villain. And in this story, our case was his uncle Scar. And then next, the disaster. So the disaster also is, what are the stakes? Is it life and death? What is the ultimate, what is the, what were the stakes? What's the biggest challenge in, that standing in the way of their goal? What was standing in the way of him just kind of Hakuna Matating it, all day with Timon and Pumbaa? Well, here's what it was. Scar was running the kingdom. He was running the Pride Lands, and he was running it into the ground. There was no food, no water. He just lavishly took everything, and he destroyed everything for being selfish. And now the consequences were there was no food. The herds had left because the Pride Lands had just Pride Rock. It all just become desolate. So they had moved on, and now the lions, they had no food, and Scar did not want to move on because he and his brain wanted to still rule that rock that his brother Mufasa did. And so it was just running everything into the ground. But they were all going to perish if something wasn't done very soon. So that is the 5 elements. So now you have everything filled in here to write the main idea of the story. So we're going to take it here, and here's how I did it. So Simba, we say our character, Simba was heir to the throne, believes he is responsible, but the situation, he was responsible for his father's death. And then what was the objective? He vows never to return home, and to bring shame to his pride and to face his mother. But now we have to include our opponent and our disaster. His uncle Scar is running the kingdom into the ground, ruins. And soon the Pride Rock, it will soon perish. Boom. That is the premise of the story. You have who your character is, what has happened, what he has, how he has reacted to this crisis, and then his opponent, we know what he is doing, and what is happening because of the action of now that the opponent has taken over. And so now it's going to be, the main story is now we want to know what's going to happen. Is Simba going to just stand by and just let it go on, just Hakuna Matata in it? That's not my problem. Nobody wants me. I'm not the king. Or is he going to come back and have his come to Jesus moment and, fight for what was rightfully his? So that's also, if you want to know, also key hint, that's your blurb. It's actually your blurb to your story, because for blurbs, you don't tell the whole story on the back of the books. You got to entice your reader, but you have to have it enough to want to entice your reader. And I think also because of this is they were lions, and this isn't, and as a lot of us English majors know, or Shakespeare and all that, this was actually a retelling of Macbeth. So what did you guys think? I hope this can help you guys try to work out, if you have your book idea and you just need to kind of get it, you have it, but you want to get it out kind of the bones of it to help you write. Let me know in the comment. Again, if you want the workbook, please just sign up down below. If you click on the link, it will take you to a landing page. You'll just fill in your email. You can unsubscribe anytime, but you will get my newsletter with it, and you can keep up with me with what's happening with my book personally, and you will get this cool workbook. I mean, hey, we are still in Preptober though, a few weeks, and then it's time for NaNoWriMo. So I hope that this can help you guys as well. Let me know in the comments too below, are you a plotter? Are you a pantser? What are you? Let me know. How do you write? What is your whole thoughts, and how do you get your everything together for writing? All right, guys, thank you so much. Again, if you like this video, please leave it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel. If you have not, you will get a shout out. If you comment on any past videos from now, from here, now, past, present, you will get a shout out as well. So stay to the end of the video to get that. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Until then, guys, remember to drink coffee and write on. Bye.
What are you waiting for?